Tesla's space future. So people talk about cars being just the beginning of Tesla's future, and that's true. And there's a few other coming waves that are less known and less publicized. Now, obviously, Tesla's mission is to free the Earth of fossil fuels and make it sustainable transportation. I'm paraphrasing their mission. And they're moving rapidly towards first electrification, EVs, electric vehicles, then into autonomous driving, which is further along the mission of reducing carbon and making sustainable transportation on Earth. And beyond even that, into energy. Obviously, they own Solar City and the power packs, and they're becoming kind of like distributed over time energy companies. Like they're replacing power plants and the like through distributed energy. So each of those is transformational. But I want to talk even beyond that in terms of furthering the mission, in terms of Tesla's space capabilities. Now, it's no surprise or accident that Elon Musk owns both Tesla and SpaceX. And I'm going to talk about some of the synergies going into the future in terms of Tesla's space capabilities. So basically, and I'll flesh this out, but one of the major points, and it'll need to be fleshed out, is that the model that's progressing on Earth will start progressing on other planets as well. So it'll be that as we get to Mars, a lot of the same capabilities that we're developing on Earth will be developed on Mars. So let me go into that a little bit.
Thank you.
Let me go into that a little bit. So when you get to Mars, because Mars is inhospitable because not only of the temperature, but also because of the lack of atmosphere, the lack of oxygen. Mars is, I think, 95% or 75%, something like that, carbon dioxide. The lack of nitrogen, so you can't grow crops there. The excess radiation, the low gravity. When you put all those factors together, Mars is really inhospitable. Now, Elon Musk and others have talked about terraforming Mars, and how do you make Mars more hospitable? There's two ways to do it, to produce energy on Mars. One is nuclear, and that's a possibility. The other is electrification. So the whole, and I don't mean electrification, I mean solar, sorry. So the whole aspects of power generation and power storage. Now, the energy storage that you have on Earth is going to be analogous to the energy storage that you need elsewhere, starting on Mars, because on Mars also you have a lot of the energy generation, like through solar or through nuclear, is going to have to be stored. So Tesla's capabilities that way is going to be attributable to other planets as well. Now, for example, SpaceX and their transport to beginning with Mars, and also they're going to be transporting anywhere on Earth within an hour. So when you get to Mars, the first thing that you're going to have to do is do energy creation and energy storage, and then you're going to have to do transport. So as Tesla starts to take over energy transport on Earth, and if you think they're not taking over, even their Model 3 is outperforming all the other electric vehicles combined. I think like Jaguar and some of the other ones are only selling a couple thousand each, and Tesla is selling as many as they can produce. They're selling, I think, already about 18% of the total market, and they keep upping and upping their production schedules, and they keep selling out of everything. I think they're up to about 500,000 vehicles a year now. So, and they have like a 3 or 4 year lead on autonomous driving. So at some point, and they have all these gigafactories, so they're not going to probably be able to do all the vehicles on Earth to reach that, but they're going to get, very large market share because they're way ahead. And they may even license out their technology to the other companies that, are going to go bankrupt otherwise. So at that point, they would have almost perhaps full market share at an optimistic viewpoint. So Tesla in space refers to the fact that the capabilities that they're developing on Earth are going to be translated to other to other realms. So again, with Mars, you're going to start with energy creation, and solar is probably going to be very big on that, where Tesla's already a big leader. Then you're going to have, obviously there's other solar ones already, but if Elon is transporting all the people to Mars and all the equipment to Mars, it makes sense that he's going to be producing the solar energy on Mars as well. It makes sense that because he's producing the vehicles to get to Mars and the people to get to Mars, that he's going to be producing the energy storage on Mars as well. So once you start colonizing Mars, then just like how Earth becomes a way station for the Moon and Mars becomes like a way station for the asteroid belts, and then the asteroid belts, when they become colonized, become way stations for Jupiter, and eventually beyond, like Titan and Alpha Centauri and things like that. So I'm not saying that SpaceX is necessarily, and Tesla, going to monopolize the economy of the solar system, but they could, because who else? Think about it this way: Elon Musk, his companies are the only ones sending people to Mars. Nobody else on Earth has that capability. NASA will be also as well, but Tesla has a big head start. But other than NASA, perhaps a government, perhaps the Chinese government will be able to do it, or perhaps the Russian government or the Indian government. But Tesla, Jeff Bezos is focusing on the moon, and some other companies are focusing on the moon and asteroids. But Elon is basically going to have, for a period of time, Mars all to himself, and he plans to have 1 million people on Mars in the next 40 years. So he tends to be a little bit aggressive in his timetables, but even if it takes 70 or 80 years, if Mars in 50 years' time is primarily all the equipment and on the planet is Tesla and SpaceX, then it's going to give them a great launching pad. It's kind of like Amazon when they took on Barnes & Noble, and they just became like now Amazon does 50% of all domestic e-commerce. Tesla is going to have such an infrastructure built up by being the dominant player on Earth for energy and transportation, and then on Mars, that who's going to catch them? As we start spreading out in the solar system, now of course a lot has to do with execution. Like Elon Musk could die, or eventually he probably will die, and someone, and then the next generation might not be able to execute like Elon Musk has been able to execute. So I'm not saying that SpaceX is and Tesla are going to rule the galaxy, but it's possible. It's possible that they, as we start to inhabit, the solar system and beyond, that SpaceX will have the lion's share, just like Google has the lion's share of the internet on Earth, and Facebook has the lion's share of the social media, and Amazon has the lion's share of the e-commerce. SpaceX could wind up having the lion's share of the space economy, Tesla and SpaceX together.